Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Bedlam from PoGo City Radio. The date of this recording is May 19th, 2023, meaning today would have been Joey Ramone's 72nd birthday. So in honor of the godfather of punk rock's birthday, I thought I would make a video talking about how he changed the underground punk world. Before we get into the video, I want to take a quick minute and remind you about the PoGo City Radio Podcast. It can be found on platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and pretty much wherever you find podcasts. We do episodes about weekly, previewing upcoming shows from all over the country, recapping shows from all over the country as well. We have guests from all over the punk rock world, and we take a hardcore look at our local northeastern punk scene. We also play tracks from a bunch of underground bands you won't hear anywhere else. And on some of the most recent episodes, we've been talking about our upcoming trips to Boston to go see The Unseen, Blank 77, and Violent Society, and our trip coming up to California for CY Fest. So if you guys want to hear more about that and some great music you won't hear anywhere else, make sure you find the PoGo City Radio Podcast. Also, give us a follow on Instagram and Facebook at PoGo City Radio. Now let's get to this Joey Ramone video. Joey Ramone was born with the name Jeffrey Ross Hyman on May 19th, 1951 in Forest Hill Hospital. Joey's life would start off rough, needing a surgery to remove a parasitic twin shortly after his birth. The would-be singer attended Forest Hill High School, where he met the other founding members of the Ramones. Now, I want to do a video about the Ramones as a band in the future, but this particular video is just going to focus on Joey Ramone. Now, even though it seems that Joey Ramone had a relatively happy childhood, it wouldn't be without some struggle being diagnosed with OCD and schizophrenia. This also caused him to be a little bit more introverted and shy growing up. And I know some people would think, how could this man who stands out in center stage with his fist in the air, shouting to thousands of people, ever be shy and introverted? But I really feel like that's one of the ingredients that made Joey Ramone special. I feel like his unique personality mixed with his attitude is what transformed him into one of the most recognizable punk frontmen of all time. Even though being in the Ramones is what truly helped Joey find his voice, I feel like the casual fan does not realize that Joey was actually slotted to play drums, and Douglas Coven, aka Dee Dee Ramone, was originally supposed to sing and play bass, but Dee Dee was having a hard enough time just figuring out the bass, and that's when their manager Tommy came up with the idea to have himself join the band on drums, and Joey moved to vocals, allowing Dee Dee to concentrate on bass playing. And it's with that lineup the Ramones would release their first 3 albums. Now, I realize many people think of punk as just aggressive, low skill level, loud music. But when Joey stepped out to the Ramones on vocals, it really changed everything. He would inspire so many other misfits and social outcasts to stand in front of a group of people, find their voice, and shout about their deepest urges, concerns, or wants. Joey showed others that they could transform from a shy background kid in high school to the voice of a movement. Without the Ramones, probably none of my favorite bands would even exist. The entire 70s UK punk scene was virtually non-existent until Joey and the other Ramones showed up in London at a legendary gig taking place July 4th, 1976, with over 2,000 people in existence. And it seems as if basically all those 2,000 people left and started a punk band the next day. The Ramones would go through many lineup changes throughout the band's existence, but Joey and Johnny Ramone would virtually endlessly tour until the band officially disbanded in 1996. Their final tour would be the first ever Lollapalooza, back when it was a full tour, and the final show would eventually be released as a live album titled We're Outta Here. It included special guest appearances from Tim and Lars of Rancid. Even though the Ramones only had one certified gold record, that being Ramones Mania, virtually a best of, they did change the music world forever, especially Joey. Go ahead, sit there and think for a second in your head if you could think of any artist that wouldn't virtually be lost if they hadn't found their musical outlet. Joey helped so many others realize they could achieve their goals and passions. After the Ramones ended, Joey didn't hang up his mic, however. In October of 96, Joey and the Resistance would debut their rendition of Louis Armstrong's classic, What a Wonderful World. The group would also play other covers from bands like Iggy Pop and the Stooges, the Dave Clark Five, and The Who. Joey didn't just use his amazing voice to sing, even though the Ramones' lyrics would never really dive into politics. This didn't mean that Joey Ramone, the person, was not an activist. Joey would join a music industry activist group started by Stephen Van Zandt, Artists Against Apartheid. The organization campaigned against the Sun City Resort being constructed in South Africa. The group would leave Joey Ramone in some good company with other activist musicians like Lou Reed, Bob Dylan, Keith Richards, and even Bruce Springsteen, as well as members of Run DMC. The movement grew to 50 artists strong, and they decided to record a track titled Sun City, and the track was basically a pledge to never play the resort. The song was not at all a punk track, but more of a mainstream 80s radio-ready track. However, only about half the radio stations throughout the USA would give the track any airtime. According to Wikipedia, some stations objected to the lyrics' explicit criticism of then U.S. President Ronald Reagan's policy of constructive engagement, particularly the lines of Funkadelic singer George Clinton and Joey Ramone. Our government tells us we're doing all we can. Construction engagement is Ronald Reagan's plan. Joey also expressed open discontent and criticism towards Ronald Reagan in the song Bonzo Goes to Bittenberg. Now, I'm not going to read all of the lyrics to Bonzo Goes to Bittenberg, but I did highlight a couple parts. You've got to pick up the pieces. Come on, sort your trash better. Pull yourself back together. Maybe you've got too much cash. Better call the law. When you gonna turn yourself in? Yeah, you're a politician. Don't become one of Hitler's children. I think this really references Reagan's pull yourself up by your bootstraps, fiscal responsibility attitude. But moving on a little further in the song, should have whispered her happiness, wish her the very best, $50,000 dress, shaking hands with your highness, see through you like cellophane. You watch the world complain, but you do it anyway. Who am I to say? And one last part I just want to reference. If there's something that makes me sick, it's when someone tries to hide behind politics. I wish their time would go by fast, but somehow they always seem to make it last. Before his death, Joey Ramone would record with Youth Gone Mad, a LA/New York punk band. He would co-write the song Meatball, and Dee Dee Ramone also played with this punk band as well. Although Joey Ramone's final work would be posthumously released less than a year after his death, it would be his only solo album, appropriately titled Don't Worry About Me. It was produced by Dylan Ray, who also did most of the guitar work on the record. There was also a DVD audio format release of the album that came with the music video for What a Wonderful World, a fitting last single for a man who inspired so many others to follow their dreams. Joey Ramone made people feel like they could do it too, whether they were shy, ugly, had mental issues, and I'm sure he even inspired someone else out there with a parasitic twin. Joey Ramone died April 15th, 2001. He was 49 years old. He was actually diagnosed with lymphoma almost a decade earlier, keeping his condition a secret until less than a month before his death. According to several family members and friends, Joey Ramone was listening to the song In a Little While by U2 while he passed. Joey Ramone's funeral was attended by a who's who of the New York 70s punk scene, including past members from the Ramones, members of Blondie, and Joan Jett, as well as the Talking Heads. Joey Ramone's final remains are located in the New Mount Zion Cemetery in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. In 2013, Joey Ramone would be depicted on the silver screen, portrayed by Joel David Moore in the movie's CBGB's. Showing the Kid from Queens' continued relevance today, I Slept with Joey Ramone is an upcoming Netflix movie written and starring SNL's Pete Davidson. Pete will be portraying Joey Ramone himself. The film will chronicle Joey Ramone's life and is directed by Jason Orley and is based off the memoir of the same name. Joey, Johnny, Dee Dee, Tommy, and Marky would all be immortalized March 18th, 2002, when the Ramones would be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Joey Ramone accomplished all this and didn't even live for a half century. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, if you did, please leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications on for more continued content like this. And don't forget to check out the PoGo City Radio Podcast. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at PoGo City Radio. I'm Andrew Bedlam. Thanks again for watching.